allowed. It's completely allowed. It's completely authorized. In Germany, we came to a point we were saying to go on Sankirtan in uniforms. Buy some second-hand uniforms. Something. Anything. What looks a little bit spectacular. They never ask. There's a German story, this you teach it in the school, you learn it in the school. Hauptmann von Köpenick. That really happened. It's based on the real thing. There was one famous writer, he made a story out of it, but actually the basis was real. There was a guy who was driving, still in those days, taxi in Berlin was with horses, with a carriage, And he was a clever guy, he was kind of, he was a kind of smart shooter, and he was driving his, with horses, and he knew how to deal with people, and, and taxi drivers sometimes, they get lots of experience. So once he went in a shop and he saw a really fancy uniform there. It was from some retired officer, and it was sold in a second-hand shop, like this. So he said, this is nice. Maybe when I drive the taxi and I have this uniform, it will be nice actually. My horses and the carriage and the uniform. So he put the uniform, and as soon as he came out of the shop with the uniform, people were immediately like, they changed completely their behavior. He was shocked. He was going, what? Just because I have this on? And he said, well, why not keep on with the game? So he walked in any shop, any office, and people treated him completely different. So he said, this is nice. So he walked in this uniform all the time. He went to a big office in Berlin, it happened in Berlin, in the major's house. And they were all, as soon as he walked into that office, that was the time in Germany where uniform and this, it's still until today there, but in another form. But those days, it happened around 1920 or something like this, that story. And then, and then he walked into the major's house, and they were all, ja, Herr Hauptmann, because he knew even what the uniform represented. He didn't know that. So he was going, and then because he was so expert to deal with people as a taxi driver, so he assumed the right attitude. He was going, yes, oh, no, no, yes. And they were all, yes. And he used to start to walk into various offices, and they were all his service. Everybody wanted to help him. And he was like, that's really good. And then, and then he established himself in that environment to such a degree, he actually assumed a position there. And he assumed quite a high-ranking position. And he started to manage people like this. He said, well, these people are so serving me. I said, no, I'm just, and they were all running around, And this went to such a degree that half a year down the line, in a central government building, was known that there is a Hauptmann von Köpenick. Von Köpenick means from a royal background. And he is this prestigious office there in the major's house. And he gave this order and that, and he arranged already that there will be a new park in Berlin, and this and that. And he started to manage the city. And, and they were going, yeah, Hauptmann von Köpenick. He said, yeah. And, yeah. And then someone said, who is Hauptmann von Köpenick? Where's this guy coming from? I said, well, here's his office in there. And finally they raided the whole place, and they grabbed the guy and said, what are you doing here? And he was like, there was a picture in a newspaper, how they bring him up in chains, still in that uniform, and they just carried him out of that building. But there was not so much sound about this, because it was so embarrassing. How a taxi driver can dress up in a uniform and make his career that far.
And he didn't do anything wrong?
Huh?
Did he do anything
No,
wrong?
he didn't harm anybody, really.
All right.
Actually, everybody liked him, So that's how it works. It's so external. So we have to do something similar. We just go and go, Hare Krishna, you are not Hare Krishna, no, not Andhra. That's just Hare Krishna, yeah. Like Prabhupada, he came with nothing. And he said, well, it's Krishna here, so I serve him. And then, okay. And then everybody started to do that. That's how we preach in Denmark. You simply do it.
Yeah, no, it's...
Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai.
Krishna.